CBS 8 Mornings at 6.
This morning, the man accused of opening fire on a 4th of July parade in Illinois is expected to make his first court appearance. Thanks so much for joining us at 6 a.m. I'm Eric Connert.
And I'm Dana Marie McNichol in Frenetta, Rampur. A 7th person has died after the shooting. We have CBS News correspondent Bradley Blackburn. He joins us live from Highland Park with the latest. Good morning, Bradley.
Dana Marie, Eric, good morning. So we know that this community is still grieving the loss of these now 7 people and dealing with the many that are still injured, some of whom are still in the hospital in critical condition. And this morning we're also learning that the 21-year-old man who is accused of gunning down the crowd during the parade could spend the rest of his life in prison. The suspect in the Highland Park Independence Day Parade mass shooting now faces 7 counts of first-degree murder.
There will be dozens of more charges against Mr. Cremo, but these 7 counts of first-degree murder will lead to a mandatory life sentence should he be convicted, without the possibility of parole.
The death toll rose to 7 after another shooting victim died in the aftermath of Monday's attack in the Chicago suburb. The victims killed include an 88-year-old grandfather. The 2 youngest are parents of a 2-year-old boy who survived the rampage and is now an orphan. Dr. Lauren Schechter escaped the gunfire and went back to help.
I'm a surgeon. I've worked in trauma. The wounds we saw were military-level wounds.
Authorities say that alleged shooter, 21-year-old Robert Cremo III, fired more than 70 rounds as he hid on a rooftop here along the parade route.
He brought a high-powered rifle to this parade. He accessed the roof of a business via a fire escape ladder and began opening fire.
Police say the suspect initially avoided being caught by dressing in women's clothing and blending into the panicked crowd.
When I was down on the ground, the guy next to me looked like his leg was shot off, and the woman in front of him was completely covered with blood. And when I saw that, I'm like, you just need to get up and run.
According to police, authorities were called to the suspect's home twice in 2019 for threats of violence and suicide. And during that incident in 2019, police found and gathered 16 knives from the suspect, but no guns. But after that incident, Cremo's own father sponsored his application for a state gun license. It was approved, and since then, Cremo has purchased 5 firearms legally, according to state police, including the rifle used in this attack. We should add that Cremo's attorney says he will plead not guilty to all charges. Eric, Dana Marie.
And Bradley, it does look like a very active scene behind you. Any word on authorities of a possible motive for all of this?
Dana Marie, that's something that they're still looking at. Officials have not yet said what a motive is. They say they're still trying to determine it. Of course, questioning the suspect, people around him. But one thing they're certainly looking at is his online footprint, his digital trail. There seems to be in almost all of these mass shooting stories that we cover so tragically, there always seems to be a trail of social media posts. It's no different in this case. Cremo apparently made thousands of posts and message boards, posted videos with often violent images, and some that apparently describe violence as possibly his destiny. And so those are clues that officials are looking at as they try to determine a motive, guys.
A lot more investigating to be done here. All right, Bradley Blackburn reporting live in Highland Park, Illinois for us here this morning. Thank you.
And this morning we're learning heartbreaking details about the toddler whose parents were both killed in the Highland Park shooting. 2-year-old Aiden was found alone during the chaos on Monday. Thankfully, he was not hurt. He was later reunited with his grandparents who will care for him now. A GoFundMe account started for Aiden and his caregivers who just recently raised $1.8 million. And this morning, a local man accused of hitting 9 people camped on a sidewalk near City College, killing 3 of them, is scheduled to appear in court. Prosecutors say 71-year-old Craig Martin Voss was impaired while being behind the wheel. He slammed into tents beneath B Street overpass last March. Voss is being held on a $1 million bail. Now, if convicted of all those charges, he faces more than 20 years in prison.
If you take a sip of water and something doesn't taste right, well, you're not alone here. We're working for you to get some answers on this. CBS 8 viewers in a number of neighborhoods have been very concerned about the quality of their water. CBS 8's Chris Groh live in Hillcrest now. This is one of the communities impacted, and people saying that they are even tasting this water and it tastes like dirt, Chris.
Dirt, a really concerning thing to describe the taste of water, but the good news is the city says that they do know what is causing the water to taste so funny, and they say that it's not toxic or harmful. But residents and even landlords like this one who wish to remain anonymous wish they got a little bit more of a heads up.
I wish the city would let people know what's going on so that you don't find out by drinking it yourself.
And so what's causing the drinking water to taste funny and even feel funny? Well, turns out it's an organic compound called MIB. And now the question is, what causes MIB to be present in drinking water? Well, the concentrations are known to go up in water supplies during the summer months, but especially becomes extra concentrated when water levels are low, which we know they are, and water temperatures start to warm up. Now, the water that these neighborhoods drink is produced by the Alvarado Water Treatment Plant. The plant provides water for customers in the central section of the city, so we have heard reports of people tasting that dirt-like water in Bankers Hill, Hillcrest, Golden Hill, North, and even South Park, which makes sense when you look at where the Alvarado Water Treatment Plant sends out that water.
It smells like a weird soapy sewage smell, almost like very, very faint.
Had you noticed that happening in the past?
Honestly, no. It's like once or twice I'll smell it throughout the day, but after a while I'm kind of getting used to it, which is not good.
And look, while it tastes and feels like that person described, it's still, again, according to the city, is not harmful or toxic, that they constantly monitor the water levels, also the water quality to make sure that they are up to standards. Eric?
Chris Groh reporting live for us. Thank you for that, Chris. This morning we have learned dozens of San Diego City employees, including about 20 police officers, could soon be fired. They were all granted a religious exemption from getting a COVID vaccine, but the city says they're not following the rules. A city official tells us these employees are required to test for COVID every week, but most haven't taken a test in 3 months since the mandate was put in place. Well, the police union warns the move will put further strain on the department and will impact public safety. The city says these employees can keep their jobs if they agree to take the tests. Checking in with Evan now on our forecast.
Hey, temperatures are starting to warm up. We started overnight with really mild conditions, mostly in the upper 60s at nearly 70 degrees. I mean, look at the bottom right corner of your screen. It's 68 degrees right now in San Diego, so nearly 70. And all we're going to get to this afternoon along the immediate coastline is about 71. So very little warming expected to take place along the coast thanks to coastal clouds and sea breeze. But inland will jump to about 81 degrees. Mountains and deserts have a lot of sunshine already, warming up to 78 across the mountains, 103 for those deserts. Marine layer has been stretching pretty far inland. It doesn't seem like it will be quite as expansive going from Friday through the weekend. A ridge of high pressure is building overhead, and what that ridge is going to do is help to warm us up and help to clear out those clouds a little bit quicker than what we've seen recently. So when you look at your current temperatures outside, again, mostly mild. We are warmer by far compared to where we were 24 hours ago, but by the afternoon we won't necessarily be above average. We've had several mild days. Although the sun has been beaming down on us, temperatures have been incredibly mild. The change that we see that really starts to show how much strength that ridge of high pressure is going to provide is going to be felt Friday through about Sunday. We are expected to peak on Saturday, but Friday and Sunday are both pretty warm days alongside Saturday. Today and tomorrow, we're on that warming trend. But today we've got some clouds still joining us. Tomorrow there's a chance that that marine layer will be active. And then Friday through Sunday, it will be much more shallow and largely contained to the immediate coastline. So warming as we head toward the upcoming weekend. That'll be especially felt for your inland valleys, but along the coastline is where we're going to stay mostly in the 70s. Very little departure from where we are this afternoon, for example, just maybe a 2-3 degree warm up by the afternoon. Let's talk about what's going on in traffic this morning. It is 6:09 right now. Want to take you to a crash that has now been cleared. It was previously on the 94. Shoulder was blocked with the exit ramp due to a stall. The shoulder shoulder was blocked on the exit ramp with a stalled vehicle there on the 94 eastbound at Bayview Heights. That's now been cleared. Also want to take you to a crash that is still starting to cause some delays. So this is on the 67 southbound at Riverford Road. Looks like this is in the Lakeside area moving towards Santee. Not any major backups right now, but CHP is on scene working to clear that. Beyond that, there are no other major crashes or collisions to get to this morning, so you should be able to head out at your normal speeds.